Hello, Internet. Welcome. Today we are going to play with Prefect. Prefect is a workflow orchestration tool and is supposed to be quite fun in order to define a lot of tasks and manage them with some fancy dashboard. We are going to first try to run it locally, and then maybe we'll try their cloud offering, or maybe we'll skip that and try to actually understand how to host Prefect on our own. So let's get started. We'll start with a blank project. We won't care about anything else here. Initialize a Git repository, root commit, poetry shell, and we can now go to PyCharm. While that is booting in the background, we can add Prefect and PyTest to our repo. And yeah, we can go and catch that one. Make sure we're on the right interpreter. Poetry existing. Yeah, it completely missed that one. So which Python? Let's copy this one and paste it right here. And I think we are live. Yeah, okay, so let's have a main py file and also a test file, just so we'll have everything. So tests and test prefect. Let's actually move this to my package. And we can define our things here in a minute. Let's dive into the docs, or actually let's just copy paste this thing directly from the main page, and let's try to understand what's going on here. So we are importing flow and task, and we are serving our first deployment. So let's just run that, not in the test, but in the main file. Let's actually put that back in for now. And here we just go with Python main, and let's see how do they guide us through this. So your flow hello universe is now being served and calling for scheduled runs. To trigger workflow, run the following command. So prefect deployment run. So let's do that from another window. Let's have them side by side. Let's zoom this a little bit out. Okay, and if we run this within our shell, so poetry shell again, and we can run that. Okay, so things have happened and things have crashed. So that wasn't very nice. Why do things crash? That's like the opposite of being helpful. So it says flow run received invalid parameters, field name required. So hello universe, and what are the names? Name. Okay, so let's try to figure out what do we need to do here. So if we run things and we now forward things to that, we need to say something in the lines of param, so dash p, then it's a key equals value thing. So name equals test. Oh, you're not seeing that, sorry. Let's switch these around. And now let's run that again. And name is not a thing, but names is available. So names equals test. And that was scheduled, and flow exited cleanly. Nice. That failed again. So parameter type flow run received invalid parameter. Names input should be a valid list. So how do we push things onto a list here? So we let's pass this as a JSON array. Let's pretend this is what they want. Okay, so things start to look better now. But what else do we have here? So flow run gentle lemur downloading flow code from storage at local folder. Task say hello, hello test. Okay, awesome. Finished state completed, all states completed. Okay, cool. And what else do we have here? Prefect. Is there any kind of like dashboard we can access, or let's actually maybe dive into the docs because it seems like we might want to do that in a minute. Dashboard. Scheduling, retries, caching, observability. So is this, let's go with a quick start. And okay, we can maybe try the new code here, which seems to be a bit more convoluted. We might need to install HTTPX for that if it's not installed already, but seems to be available, so we won't worry about that. And Python my flow. Yeah, so we can definitely just run this again now with our main file. And we've done that already. Just to be sure everything is working correctly. Yeah, this is now probably going to run in a minute. I'm quite surprised this is like actually taking time. I was sure that this when things get queued onto this will take like milliseconds. Not anything like nothing less than that. Nothing more than that. But I really want this dashboard. How do I get it? Let's see if Prefect itself maybe. Okay, so Prefect server help database start. So Prefect server start. So nothing interesting here. We've got our docs of the API, and this is just okay. So this is just the API. This is not the dashboard itself. Fusion concepts close deployment. Where is that dashboard? Or is it if the dashboard is like the only thing that's like it's only available on their cloud offering, that's quite suckish from them. Prefect UI. Okay, so start a Prefect UI API and UI. Okay, so let's see if there's Prefect init server project agent block cloud concurrency limit config deploy deployment dev. Where's the UI? Prefect UI. Yeah, so this repo is for Prefect UI development. To run Prefect UI as part of the Prefect server, you need to install Prefect and run Prefect server start. Okay, so we've done that. Prefect UI it requires Node.js 14. Okay, I don't care about that. So the Prefect UI is. I'm surprised this is actually like a separate thing. I was certain this is actually deployed on the same place, but updated a year ago. Okay, so the Docker image is either not maintained or something. Yeah. So let's clone that, I guess, and run it locally. Yeah, let's do that. Copy, and actually let's make that, yeah, make the prefect UI, and let's paste everything. Let's try to run that. Node 14, sure, install that. x86, oh, woof. So no Node 14 for us. FNM use 20, sure, and PMI. Yeah, so this is apparently like not heavily maintained. I'm quite surprised. If that is just like abandonware, then yeah, sure, EOL, remove EOL banner unless frozen. Interesting. So if you'd like to work on Prefect UI, okay, so maybe the UI is still there, and I've just missed that thing. Let's figure it out. Let's go back to Prefect here, and let's first of all see if we have anything listening here on localhost. We have JetBrains, we have Distant Proton VPN. So where is that Prefect server listening at? It's probably bound to something. Let's run that again, and let's rerun the server. And hopefully we'll be able to catch whatever that is bound to. So established. Not good. Oh, I see. This is okay. We're not gonna run this installation anymore, I think. Maybe let's grep for Python. Prefect. How is this thing running? Or is it communicating through the actual database without sockets? I'm not sure. Poetry shell. Prefect server start. So the dashboard, oh, so the dashboard is here. It just wasn't like actually booted when we clicked it the first time. Okay, so that was like a really long detour for just me being unobservant. I'm sorry about that. Anyhow, so we can now have our flows here, and we can probably also trigger them manually. maybe. Let's see, deployment. Okay, cool. So there's like a timeline of everything. Wow, that's quite nice. So runner, my first deployment, submitting flow with ID, opening process, completed submission. I'm quite surprised like how much machinery goes into making this work, but this is nice. Like we actually get a dashboard, and it shows things on the timeline. So I guess we're happy with that. Um, Worker pools, prefect agent, concurrency limit, unlimited. And we can just disable the pool and then enable it. Wow, okay, cool. So that looks quite nice. Add a block to get started. So what are blocks? AWS credentials. If you don't see a block for the service you're using, check out our collections catalog. Okay, cool. So we can actually like try to make this into a fully managed thing. Seems very nice. Okay, so I think I'll need to give these blocks a try at some other point. Add variables. Variables store non-sensitive strings. Okay, good to know. Concurrency. Global concurrency limits can be applied to flow runs, task runs, and any operation where you want to control concurrency. Okay, that's not that interesting. Artifacts are byproducts of your runs. They can be anything from a markdown file to markdown string to a table. Cool. Ready to scale upgrade. I like the shameless plug. And here we have our settings, which apparently are quite, we have a lot of them. Interesting. And what else do we have here? Flow runs. Can we, in the settings, like say, leave me alone with the upselling of your cloud thing? Let's see if that's cloud. Prefect cloud URL API URL. Prefect UI enabled, UI API URL, API limit. So I assume that would be somewhere in the UI where it will just say don't upsell this, but apparently not. Apparently this is just not a thing. Okay, cool. So we now have a nice dashboard that we can run tasks on. And they can probably call each other, which means that if we have a task, it can call to subtasks, and flows are like entry points for that thing. So what can we do with that? I don't know. Let's see what we can do in the docs. So log prints, never. Just use logging. Logging versus artifacts. The example above is for educational purposes. In general, it's better to use prefect artifacts for storing metrics and outputs. Logs are best for tracking progress and debugging errors. Okay. Retries. Retry delay seconds. Log prints. True. Yeah, so we're not going to use prints in production ever. Like, please don't use prints in production. Use logging. Tasks. So tasks are a function decorated with tasks called within a flow. You can think of a flow as a recipe for connecting known sequences of tasks together. Tasks and their dependency and the dependencies between them are displayed on the flow run graph, which we have already seen. That was somewhere here on our server. Let's remove that. Yeah, so here on the server, we've seen if we opened up any of the runs, the successful ones, we've seen like the flow. of things. Like this is the arrow, this is the entry point, this is the subtask that we have ran. We were somewhere in the quick start. Where were we? Tasks. Yeah. Both are defined easily using the respective decorator, which accepts settings for that flow. See all task settings, flow settings. Each can give a name, description, tag for organization and bookkeeping. Network calls such as our GET request to GitHub API are particularly useful as tasks because they take advantage of the task features such as retry, caching, and concurrency. Okay, tasks must be called from flows. That's good to know. When to use tasks. Not all functions in a flow need to be tasks. Use them only when their features are useful. Okay, so good to know that like just calling arbitrary functions is also fine, and we just want to decorate tasks when we want to have that on the flow graph, basically, plus the actual features of like retries and like the fancy stuff. Caching. Okay, let's skip over caching. Concurrency, basically, how many tasks can we run together? Let's actually look at that, because I wonder if they abstract away like async IO problems in this tutorial. So we have a task called get URL. Here we just do like the flat HTTPX get. This is, by the way, not best practice to use that. Usually leave that for scripts and for one-off things, and use like the async client for that, or just a client, but use a client that has a persistent session. And then it says response erase for status, and then returns the JSON. So cache expiration time delta 1 hour. That's quite nice. Cache key function input. Oh, that is very nice. The fact that we can just say hash these parameters and don't think about it with just a utility function, that's quite a nice quality of life from them. Get open issues. This will run for page-in-page issues append get URL, and get URL is a task. Okay. So these are the actual values here, or is it something fancier that needs to like do Python magic in order to actually get the results out? Because this probably submits a task, and then somehow it needs to like introspect into that, right? Issues. What's going on here? I for P in issues for I in P. Get open issues. I really hate like nested list comprehensions. This is like the thing that you're not supposed to do ever in Python. Like have loops within loops with no separation between them. This is flattening the. Okay, so that's the outer loop in issues. So for page and issues, we are flattening everything that is the issue for that page. Okay, that took a while. Let's go on. So instead of that, we do a submit. Okay, so that's maybe the thing. Okay, so maybe we should read this. Tasks enable concurrency, allowing you to execute multiple tasks asynchronously. This concurrency can greatly enhance the efficiency and performance of your workflow. Let's expand the script and calculate the average open issue per user. This will require making more requests. So we're going with get open issues, and this is the synchronous blocking function call. And in order to make that non-blocking, we need to submit and then introspect into the result. So this is making that into like the future thing. Basically, we're just submitting everything to the pool, and then we are awaiting the results here. So we're basically implementing async await in Prefect speak. Okay, cool. And subflows. Not only you can call tasks within a flow, you can also call other flows. Child flows are called subflows. And allow to efficiently manage, track, and version common multitask logic. Subflows are a great way to organize your workflows and offer more visibility within the UI. Let's add a flow decorator to get open issues. And that flow right now is, it's scheduling all of these and then introspecting everything and making sure that all of that returns back. Next up, deployments. So a reminder to start a Prefect API. Some features in this store, such as scheduling, require a Prefect server to be running. If you use a self-hosted setup, simply run Prefect server start to run both the web server and the UI. If using Prefect Cloud, making sure you have successfully configured the local profile. So we're not using Prefect Cloud, so we already have our Prefect server start, so that's all right. One of the most common reasons to use tools like Prefect is scheduling or event-based triggering. Up to this point, we have demonstrated running Prefect Cloud as scripts, but this means you have been the one triggering and managing flow runs. You can certainly continue to trigger workflows in this way and use Prefect as a monitoring layer for other scheduler systems, but yeah. Okay, so now we're going over the API. What do we have here? Okay, so this one is only serving the workflow, it's not serving the actual server. Deployments must be defined in static files. Flows can be defined and run interactively. That is within repos and notebooks. On the other hand, deployments, on the other hand, require that your flow would be defined in a known file, which can be located in a remote file system in certain setups. Okay, so we've done this thing. If you're watching either your terminal or UI, you should see this newly thing come up. Yeah, we've already seen that. Okay, so we've got cron, text, description. Okay, cool. So apparently quite easy to get things set up here. So this we're basically just connecting to our Prefect server, which basically I think the single source of truth here is the database, which locally is a SQLite file, and when deployed on the cloud, it's Postgres database. I wonder what we can what else can we do here, because right now it seems quite simple. And okay, I think I know what I'd want to do tomorrow, and maybe we'll try to play with that. I think what we'll try to do is try to deploy that on some server and on some virtual machine on the cloud and make sure it's authenticated. And then we would be able to schedule workflows within our cloud infra. I think that would be nice. So I think join me tomorrow for that, if I successfully do that tomorrow. And maybe we'll actually try to run some workflows on the cloud, and we'll see how useful that feels. Okay, have a great one, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.